Good morning, everybody. Thought I'd just hop in here. I've got something to share with you. So what I wanted to talk about today is when you're new setting up your virtual assistant business, it's really important to talk to your friends and family and have the support of your friends and family. And this sounds like an obvious thing to say, but actually it's surprising how many people don't share to the extent of what a virtual assistant is and what it means and how seriously you're taking this new business of yours. And so I would say that I just wanted to remind you really to think about talking to all of your friends and family about what you're doing, what you're setting up, and explaining what it is you're going to be doing, because there's quite a lot of new people, there's quite a lot of people that aren't aware of what a virtual assistant is doing, especially older generations. Maybe your parents wouldn't understand it. It's a bit of a sweeping statement, and apologies for those that do, but I have come across myself that my father-in-law keeps asking me how my typing's going, and I can't even type, so I do find it amusing. But I would say that I would get the support of your friends and family and explain to them what you're doing and how seriously you're taking it, and that you'll want to set up this business to support the family in the long term. So make sure that you tell everybody what you're doing and that they understand what it is that you're going to be doing. And then I would even take that to the wider friendship circles and maybe ex-colleagues and everything, and tell them what you're doing, because this is very often your first client will come from these resources. So make sure you tell everybody what you're doing, and then they tell other people, and you'll be surprised how they'll say, oh, I know somebody or other who could do with some help with A, B or C. So I would suggest that you make sure you speak to all of your friends and family and ex-colleagues and old bosses, email them or whatever. And this is also a really helpful exercise to start to hear yourself saying it out loud and really believe that this is what you're going to do. And it helps with your confidence in what you're going to deliver. So be brave and make sure you go out there and tell everybody what you're going to be doing. The other thing I would say to talk about to the family that live in the same house as you, if you do have a family living with you, is to explain what that might mean to the family, because they might be used to you either not working and being at home and more available, or it might be that you're leaving employment, or eventually will leave employment, and you'll be doing this work from home opportunity, and ultimately that's to support both you and your family. But it might take a little while to sort of bed in and settle down. But I would have a conversation with those at home to explain what it might mean to them. So it might mean that you're saying, whilst I'm sat at my laptop at the dining room table, it doesn't mean I'm available to, jump up and do a chore or whatever. I'm in the middle of doing something for a client. And that's the other thing really, is to make sure you really do allocate your time properly to client time and home time, and really be careful how you set your boundaries and communicate this to your partner. These are the hours I'm going to be working on my client work, and make sure that you don't overstep them for your own good and for the family's good and for the client's good. It's important that the clients know what your boundaries are. You work these hours to these hours, and that your family understand that as well. And I must admit, my children were older when I started my business, and it does take a little bit of time for them to appreciate that actually when you're sat at your computer and in your office trying to do some work, that it isn't a time to be interrupted. That wouldn't ordinarily happen if you were in your employed work, would it? So have and you don't want any friction. You need the family support to make this work, and so make sure you have these conversations up front and set out the expectations and keep those communication channels open if things change. And the whole point of you setting up this venture is to make life easier for you and give you that freedom to support the family. So make sure that it doesn't cause any frictions. So I hope that's helpful to have these conversations, have this information up front, and have these conversations ahead of time, and then hopefully it makes your journey a little bit smoother. Anyway, good luck and bye for now.